What's up guys, Mimo here, and today we are on part 1 of my 4-part series about building your or my perfect wardrobe, because you guys are going through it with me. So the first thing we're going to do is find, choose, manifest, create our own color palette. Now, I find this to be very important because I was finding that all the clothes in my closet were just all over the place. So I was just like, what do I even like specifically? Let me go through my notes so that I don't get like distracted. First you want to do is go in your closet and look at what you have. Now, you might have some random ass like orange pieces, but you don't really necessarily wear orange that often. That orange piece is just there and you haven't touched it in a while. So you want to look at the pieces that you wear the most often, which you find flatters your skin tone and like matches the rest of your clothes. So look at what you have. Also, you can look at your Pinterest boards, because Pinterest boards will show you what you want. It'll also help you with your style, which is a whole nother video. We'll talk about that later. So your Pinterest boards will help you learn what clothing items or like what colors you want to wear and what colors like you gravitate towards, because you're more likely to save things that you like, and more likely you'll like them because of the color as well as because of the style. Now, maybe you don't do Pinterest all that often. Maybe you Amazon shop and you have a fuck ton of lists like me. So you can go into your lists and look at all the clothes that you picked out and the colors you picked them out in. And if you're looking at the colors like, that doesn't really suit me, please click on that item and see what colors is available in. Re-add it like that. See the colors that you like that is added in, because I was trying to redo mine's, and mine's is I'm trying to add in some browns, some warm tones. I added in some orange, and then I realized I don't really want to wear bright ass orange, so I'm going to replace it with a brown one or a tan one, something of a nice warm color, but not necessarily an orange. Now, when you're looking at the stuff in your closet, don't look at the pieces and what the styles are. Look at the colors. Because you'll probably find out that you have some pieces in there that you don't want, but you like the color. So we're going to keep that color in mind. Now, when you're thinking about colors, you want to think about like, okay, so with the colors, you really want to make sure that these are colors that go together. Like black and gray are always going to go together, or black with a splash of any color. It depends on your base colors, where you would also add your accent colors. But like at the same time, I don't want you to be feeling creatively like held back by the color palette that you're choosing. So you can go from 6 colors to 9 colors, but that's where the starting point is, like from 6 to 9 colors. You probably want to pick about like 3 or so base colors. For me, mine's are black, gray, and like, I guess, what was my color? I don't know. Blacks, grays, and like maybe neutrals. And then you'll have a splash of color that goes well with those. As well as think about the fact that there are shades of your neutrals. Your neutrals can be cooler toned and warmer toned. Like you can wear neutrals like a brown. There could be a cool brown or a warm brown that would actually look pretty decent with orange, or with a particular shade of blue, you know? Like, you gotta think about these things. Like, you just gotta play around. See if you can get a coloring book of like outfits. Like, get the little digital ones, draw a little stick figure, put a little shirt on it, and fill in the colors. Experiment like that. Now for base colors, those are the colors you're gonna wear the most. Think about it like that. Like, if you like wearing black pants the most, or like khaki pants the most, or you have a lot of khakis, because khakis are pretty decent base color. It's not for me, but you know, if that's a color, you want to think about your accent colors that will complement the base colors, as well as give it a splash of color. Because with certain colors like black, or like a dark brown or dark blue, or something like almost denim, maybe navy, you can just splash a color on that motherfucker. Just make sure that depending on like what color it is, if it's not black or white, then you might want to think a little bit harder or tweak the shading of it. So it's just like, you know, you have base colors and accent colors. Next, what you want to think of is patterns, prints, and textures. Now, some of these things, okay, so let's think about patterns, okay? Patterns and prints, that will be, okay, so say you have a black background in like pink flowers. If pink isn't necessarily in your color palette, that can be fine because that'll just be one piece, because the base color might be in your color palette and then the pink would just be a splash. As long as the pink doesn't clash in some weird way, if the pink is a nice shade of pink that works well with the rest of your colors, that's fine. So this could also happen depending on the pattern and how big the flowers are. I'm just using flowers or polka dots. Like, how big the pattern piece is on top of the base depends on how much it overtakes the eye. So the base color might be like a color that isn't in your color palette, but the flowers in the print on top of it are, and that makes it work. So you got to think about pieces like that, because you'll really like a piece but you're like, oh, but this color isn't working. But if there's enough of the colors that are working and the other one is just like a surprise guest, that's fine. You just got to make sure it works. You got to visualize it with your other outfits, which is why I like online shopping better than I do in-store shopping, because in-store shopping I feel like I'm rushed. Online shopping I can Photoshop and like color and draw all the different outfits I want to. So, you know, do that. Also experiment with different things you can just find on like online stores. Take the pictures, Photoshop, draw, experiment, make up ideas, because then you might actually be able to find those clothing pieces in person and just already know what's going to go with your color palette. Now when it comes to textures, now that's also something that goes with your style and fit preference. Like, I like to wear ribbed clothing because it fits me better. Like, ribbed clothing just tend to hug me, and I like the fit of I like a tight fit. So yeah, but you may like more like sweater texture, like, or crochet texture. You might like that better, or you might just like dry fit, or maybe you just like satin. Maybe you just straight up like only t-shirt material, and that's the only thing that you find comfortable or looks good on you. So these are things that you need to think about when you're choosing pieces and going through your closet, because if you have something that's in satin, but satin makes your skin feel weird, or if you have it in velvet and velvet make your skin feel weird but you like the color, if it's giving you any discomfort at all, just toss it, because it's the wrong texture. And like, as you can see from that suspicious box over there with that sticking out, I've already started getting rid of stuff because they don't suit me. So don't be afraid to get rid of some stuff, because you can donate. Also think about color palettes throughout the seasons. Now some people will have multiple color palettes throughout the seasons, and some people will just have the same color palette with different tweaks of different clothing. Now depending on your budget and the size of your closet, depends on how you want to do this. If you're like some rich person with like a big ass closet, go ahead and make as many color palettes for as many seasons or events as you want, because that's your right and you can. If you're someone who's either really minimalist or trying to do a capsule wardrobe, then you need to think about making that color palette suit all year round, or making sure you choose colors that will work all year round. Like, if you're wearing it in the summer, are you going to also enjoy wearing it in the winter? Not necessarily saying that these pieces have to be both warm and cool, because that's crackhead stuff. That doesn't work. That's not how this works. But do you like those colors, just in case you can't figure out how to mix and match? Like, if it's fall, you can wear a summer crop top with some winter pants, because you'll have a jacket that works with it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can mix and match. Think about that. And like, just think about how you're going to work with that throughout the seasons. Like, is that something you're going to like every season, or are you going to add in a new accent color that matches? You know, you could just slap some different colors in there, but you got to be aware, you know, of where you're trying to stay with those, because you might buy some new pieces for the summer, but you want to make sure that they're going to match your aesthetic. So what you want to do next is make a visual of the colors you like. This is my visual that I made up, and this is my year-round one, just because I like to be simple. I don't need like different colors for different seasons. I was inspired by this blog post that I found on Pinterest. You can go through and read. They have a whole series and everything on their blog, or you could just look at their example colors at the bottom of their article. You can look at all their little sample colors, and then that can help you get an idea of how you can do it. And you don't necessarily have to go through everything, because that vlog is for a capsule wardrobe, and I'm not trying to do a capsule wardrobe. I'm trying to do a regular wardrobe. I'm minimalist, but I'm not as minimalist as a capsule wardrobe. That's really small. You should also make a visual via like Pinterest, like go through pieces that are different colors, like make a whole different board. Don't even try to add or go through those boards, make a whole different board, and then maybe you can go through your old boards and then add those pieces to that board and then see how you feel about it, tweak some things here and there, and then you'll have your visual what you want. Alright guys, I decided to add in a portion where I go through my closet and I show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Ignore this, that's my husband's clothes, and this is mine. Yes, I'm in the army. We're not thinking about that. We're not thinking about that. I can't control that. So, you see my color palette on the screen, right? This is what we're looking for. So, I have this halter dress that is purple and blue. Now, there's not nearly enough blue to justify having this. It was just a comfy piece that I had at one point. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to donate that. So, as you can see, the rest of my color palette is pretty much working. There are some navy bits in here, which I think work under the blue section. Though navy isn't my favorite, but at the same time you see that I'm wearing it quite a bit. So maybe I should add it into my color palette as an accent color, but I feel like it's in the realm of my blues and teals. So you see, also I have this Fashion Nova set that I actually really enjoy a lot, and since it is a set in and of itself and it wouldn't be mixed and matched with anything except for maybe a jacket, and I don't have any jackets that match it, I could keep this if you wanted to really keep this because I really enjoy this mauve color, but at the same time you could just get it and repurchase it in your color palette. But if you just really love it, then I guess keep it. Just know that you won't be mixing and matching it. For me, I'm going to get rid of it, especially since I've had it for a while and it is a little worn. And white isn't in my color palette, but white is such a neutral color, and it's just, I'm keeping this, okay? I'm keeping this because it does go with the black. It's also got ramen on it, and there's not a lot of shirts with that ramen on it. I only have one other shirt with ramen on it. I'm keeping it. And this, I do have a couple of white shirts. Maybe I should add white into my color palette. I have this one, mostly gonna wear that to go to sleep. This is actually just a light gray, so yeah. But you see, everything else has a simple color palette. This is what I'm talking about. The main color is blue, but the highlight color's got like pinks, but it also has the teal, which is with the rest of my color palette, the teals and blues. So I can definitely keep that because it will mix and match with everything else. And then you see that I was adding in this, but I don't have nearly enough of these, which is why I want to purchase more so that it can be mixed and matched. And I find that light blue does like neutrals as well. And you see that my colors are all the same. Ignore this. This is a beautiful piece that I got from Amazon. And this is a yukata. But it does go with my color palette. It has blues, it has neutrals, and it's black on the base. So yeah, and these are uniforms, so that doesn't count. And you see my pants are, again, what I was saying with the patterns. This pattern isn't big enough to negate the black. That makes it work with everything else that I would wear with it. And then, of course, denims, grays, black, and more denim. So, yeah. It's all in my color palette except for the pieces that I just yeeted on the floor. And the other pieces that I got rid of, which I might show you. Alright, in our donation box, we have this, which is like a little mini dress, which is burgundy, as you can see. It had a hood. It's really cute. It's not something I can actually wear on its own anymore. I've worn it for so long. So I did get a nice amount of wear out of it, so I'm not too sad about getting rid of it. But you see, that's another piece that I could have tried to put in there, but I'm trying to make my color palette actually cohesive. So putting a burgundy in there when everything else is on the blue side, on the side of warm blues and warm neutrals, or just straight up neutrals and blues and stuff. I don't want to confuse it too much. Alright guys, that's all for now for color palettes and patterns and all that. I hope you enjoyed. Tune in next time because next we are talking about your style and your fit. So see you guys.